Okay, picture this. You open your favorite sports betting app. Instantly, bright banners flashing, boosted odds, popular bets today. You tap once, maybe scroll a bit, and bang, just like that, you've put down a same game parlay on tonight's big match. But here's the real question we're digging into today. Did you actually consciously decide on that specific bet, or were you kind of subtly nudged into it by the way the app is designed? We're doing a deep dive today into how sportsbook design actively steers your decisions, often without you even realizing it. And this isn't just random. We're talking about behavioral UX that's user experience shaped by some pretty sophisticated psychology. Every color, every button, the way you scroll, those pop-ups, it's all meticulously designed to influence you. Honestly, in some ways, certain sportsbook apps feel like they're built more like, well, slot machines than financial platforms.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's precisely what we need to unpack. Understanding these hidden influences, it's not just interesting, it's really crucial for anyone using these platforms. We'll get into these specific mechanisms, the tricks of the trade, if you will, that shape your experience and, ultimately your choices. Hopefully help you see the design in a new light.
Okay, so how does this subtle steering actually start? Let's pull back the curtain on something called choice architecture.
Yeah.
Think of it like the blueprint for persuasion, right? It dictates how your options are laid out. And what you almost always see in sports books is those high risk, high reward bets, parlays, boosts, that kind of thing. They're pushed right to the top. They're just, front and center. Hard to miss.
And there's a very clear financial reason for that. It's fascinating, really, those bets. Big margins for the house. Huge. Now, if you go looking for the low-margin, sharp bets like a simple money line pick, just who wins the game, or maybe those arbitrage-friendly markets the one savvy bettors look for, well, good luck. You often have to really dig for them. Sometimes they're buried like 3 or 4 menus deep inside the app, and that's not accidental. It's absolutely a deliberate design choice. Serves their bottom line.
Wow, okay, so they're actively burying the smarter bets, in a sense. So is the app kind of teaching users then? Like teaching them that the right way to bet involves these riskier high margin options? What does that actually do to someone's betting habits over time if you're constantly funneled that way?
Oh, it absolutely trains users.
Yeah.
When the riskiest options, the ones best for the book, are always the easiest to find, it normalizes them, makes them feel like the default, or even like the intended way to bet. Because they're just so accessible. So it can subtly shift your perception of what a good bet even is, pushing you away from maybe more conservative, higher probability wagers, simply by making those harder to find.
Right. Okay. So that's how the layout, the choice architecture guides your first look. But what about when you're looking for validation, not just options? That seems to be where the next big tool comes in, tapping into our need to belong. Social proof. You've definitely seen this. Those messages like 12,000 people bet this same parlay today. Or sometimes it's just, this is trending right now.
Yeah. And those aren't just like fun facts for you. They are very specific psychological cues. They're designed to trigger FOMO, that fear of missing out. It creates this feeling that there's a right answer somewhere. And hey, look, everyone else already found it. And the really insidious part, even if it's objectively a sucker's bet, it gets psychologically validated, not by the odds, but just by the sheer number of people piling on. It's more than just FOMO. It's like this cognitive shortcut whispering, well, if everyone's doing it, it must be smart, It overrides your own judgment.
That's incredible how those little social nudges can really sway you, make you feel like you're part of the winning team. But what if someone isn't really driven by FOMO? Is there maybe something else going on there? Like maybe it validates someone who isn't super confident in their own picks, beyond just missing out.
That's a really good point, yeah. For some people, it might not be about missing the potential win so much as missing out on being right, or being part of what seems like the smart crowd. It provides that sense of community, like you said, or collective wisdom, even if that wisdom is, statistically speaking, pretty shaky.
Yeah.
It's almost like getting permission to make a risky bet because, hey, look at all these other people doing it too.
Okay, let's shift again maybe to something even more subtle. The visual stuff, the sounds. Like, have you ever really noticed how winning bets glow green? Maybe there's a little animation, a satisfying sound.
Oh, yeah.
But then a losing bet, it just kind of fades out quietly. There's way less emotional weight, right? No noise, no fanfare, just silence.
Oh, that is 100% intentional design, no question. It reinforces the wins, makes them feel bigger, more memorable, hits that dopamine button, and at the same time, it softens the blow of the losses, makes them less impactful. What's really interesting, though, is how this constant subtle conditioning, the green glow, the silent fade, it actually shifts your baseline perception, You're being trained, almost like Pavlov's dogs, right, to associate the app with positive feelings, even if your overall balance is going down. It's like a deep rewiring of how you emotionally react to winning and losing money.
So it sounds like they're trying to create this, like, gamified feeling, push the wins forward. But couldn't someone just argue, hey, that's just good UI design, making it pleasant to use, not necessarily manipulative? It kind of reminds me of old arcade games, you know?
Yeah.
Flashing lights, the sounds when you win. It kept you putting quarters in, right? Isn't this just a more sophisticated digital version of that?
It absolutely is. And that's where the line gets blurry, isn't it? You're right. Good UI should be pleasant. But when those pleasant elements are engineered specifically to obscure the financial reality, to nudge you towards actions that mostly benefit the platform, that's when it shifts from just being pleasant to potentially problematic. These little details, they all add up. They shape your perception, manage the emotional feel of the app. They make you feel good about small wins, less bad about losses. And that just encourages you to keep playing, keep engaging.
Okay, that makes sense from the business side, but it really feels like we're getting close to an ethical line here. So is this design influence actually a form of manipulation?
Well, look, from a purely business angle, sportsbooks are businesses. Like any app, really, their goal is engagement, retention, spending. You could definitely argue it's no different than, say, a social media app using infinite scroll to keep you glued to the screen, or a shopping app pushing popular items right at you. The basic goal is the same: keep you interacting.
Right, but it's not just about wins and losses, is it? I've seen those, like, animated cash-out buttons. They suddenly appear when your bet looks like it's about to lose. Designed to tempt you, right? Settle early, take less money, avoid the full risk. That feels like a very clear digital nudge, pushing you to do something specific.
And yeah, a lot of UX experts do argue that this stuff crosses a line, that sportsbooks are actively targeting known cognitive biases.
Yeah.
Things like overconfidence, I know better, or loss aversion, hating losses more than enjoying equivalent wins. Even the gambler's fallacy, thinking past results influence future ones. Now look, not all bettors are equally susceptible, but for new users, or maybe more impulsive players, or people already at risk of problem gambling, these nudges can absolutely lead to bad decisions, fast.
Okay, so given all this, what's next? Are there solutions being discussed? Are regulators catching on? Sounds like maybe things are starting to shift, particularly overseas.
Yeah, there is some movement, especially in Europe. Regulators are starting to notice, definitely. There's a growing call for what they term ethical UI design in gambling apps. And that includes some pretty concrete proposals, like maybe limiting how certain high-risk bets can be promoted, or requiring much clearer opt-ins for the riskier stuff, so you consciously say, yes, I understand this risk. There's even talk about standardizing the order bets appear in, to stop the house from always stacking the deck by pushing their high-margin bets right at the top. The idea is to create a more neutral playing field for the user.
Interesting. But for now, it sounds like most of the responsibility still lands squarely on you, the bettor. You need to be aware, make those informed choices yourself. So, all right, we've really unpacked a lot here. The significant, often quite hidden influence of sportsbook design on your betting decisions. And we've touched on that really nuanced question of, when does design guidance become something else?
Yeah, and this whole discussion really highlights how important awareness is. Knowledge is power, as they say, but only if you actually apply it, right? Critical thinking is just so essential, especially when complex designs are subtly shaping your financial choices.
So think about this. The next time you open that sleek sportsbook app and it feels like it just knows exactly what you want to bet on, ask yourself this question: did I choose this bet? Or did the design choose it for me? Stay sharp out there. Don't just bet with your wallet, bet with your eyes wide open.